Hello, darlings. Welcome. And today I am doing a live on 3 reasons you may not think you are good enough or think someone else thinks they're better than you. Number one, titles. So I was watching Bridgerton. So I'm a fan of timed series, timed movies, timed shows. I like timed shows. I'm drawn to it. I've always enjoyed it. And I was watching Bridgerton, and it got me thinking more so now than what it has in the previous times that I've been watching these shows, on how important titles were and how important titles were in dictating your life. You're born into a specific family, and that family is of a certain ranking, and basically you groomed to take over from your father, because the male figures were the only ones who could generate income, the only ones who could actually do the work. The women were just, well, best you could do is get married to a man of a certain title, certain ranking. But that has changed so much in today's day and age, from that time to where we are now in our lives. That has changed so much. Yet how we view titles for the most part hasn't changed. How we interact with titles for the most part has not changed. We get a title, all of a sudden I'm a manager, and now I conduct myself in a different way because I believe that I am better than my fellow colleagues because I am now a manager. Or I am now given a title in any other position, actually, even outside of corporate, but most of the time it's got to do with work. That's where the titles come in, and you really hear the titles. That's why there's most that advert of, oh, do you know who I am? I don't know if you guys seen that. Oh, it's an old advert. It's a very old advert of when those man goes to the airport. He's like, do you know who I am? And then the woman goes into the intercom and she's like, excuse me, attention, there's a guy who doesn't know who he is. Like, because people really take titles very seriously in terms of what it means of who they are, what it means the next person is, and how it means that you now interact with each other. In today's day and age, titles are just guidelines. Titles are just there to say, who do I speak to about what, who knows what, and who is qualified in what. Essentially, that is it. It doesn't say that I'm better than person X because I've got a higher title, or person Y must be treated a specific way because they've got this title, and person Z must be treated that way because they've got that title. But it happens a lot where people are treated a specific way because of the title that they carry in terms of what work they do. And we are groomed this way since we are kids. You've got people of authority, your parents, guardians, teachers. They are of a certain authority, and as the child, you need to listen to them and do as they say. And as children, you already are in a inferior position because you are smaller, you can't fend for yourself, you are reliant on how to interact in this new world that you are in based on the people who are your guardians in whatever role, as teachers, as parents, as grandparents, as aunts, as uncles. And you are looking towards them on, how do I go about this life? And then we take this with us, we carry this with us. And then now you're no longer a child, but you're now dealing with a different set of authorities in your life. And how we interact with the world around us and how we view ourselves in the world has a lot to do with titles. And the truth is, the person whom you might see as having a higher title than you, and you are essentially exactly the same people in terms of human beings. You are a human being, that is a human being. When we die, no one of us is taking however many bags of money you have, or what your bank account is saying, or what house you live in, or what car you're driving. You're not taking it with you. You die, you go, and everything that's here is left behind. Okay, and that goes to my point number 2. Titles are generally linked to money. Generally. So you got titles and you filter down into money. What ranking are you on? How much money do you have? And even as children, I didn't grow up having a lot of money around me. I didn't grow up being able to just have whatever I wanted to have. I considered myself poor growing up because while people were wanting Xboxes and so on, some of us just wanted some decent clothes to wear. So, and even as a child going through that, you do feel inferior to the next child who has more than you. You do feel less than those who have more than you because you feel some type of way of not having things that other people have, not having access to things that other people have, not being as privileged as the next person might seem to be. And we make meaning out of that, and we have beliefs about that, and we carry that with us, right? Then we've got number 3, problems. We've got all of these problems that we're dealing with in our lives, which again filters from money as well, because most of us think that our problems are money related. I am for sure one of them who thought making more money would mean that I would have less problems, my life would go smoother, things would be better. And then you get more money and you realize you might have more money, but you still have problems in your life. Problems in love, in your relationships, problems with your time and your money freedom, because now you're making more money and most of the time, what happens? You're working harder, longer hours. I remember when I was going through my, so in my studies, I'm an accountant, and when I was going through my articles, I was miserable because I had no time for nothing. I had no time to make friends. I had no time to get a boyfriend. I was working Monday to Sunday, essentially Monday to Sunday, because there was always deadlines, things that had to get done. It was like literally you were working all the time. So you're aspiring to get more money, but you're miserable in your life. And now you have problems. And now these problems, we internalize them. These problems, the problem is me. I am the one in the situation, so I am the one who's the problem because I am experiencing this problem. The truth about problems is that problems are there to take us to a new level of thinking. It was Albert Einstein who said, the thinking I created the problem will not solve the problem. Okay, so if you have a problem and you're at a certain level of thinking, that same way of thinking is not going to solve the problem. Problems are there to trigger us as humans to start thinking differently, to come up with solutions, to solve the problems. As human beings, I cannot breathe myself. I can't cause my heart to pump and to do all my internal organs to do the things that it does. I've got life running through my entire being, my body. And this life is not something that I'm controlling. I've got life running through me. And this life that's running through me wants all of us to evolve into the next version of us, the next level of us, the next level of awareness. We are on this continuous spiral of becoming. When you are not moving forward in life, when you are not becoming more of what you are meant to be, that's when we start to experience all of the things in our lives that are not going right. Now all of a sudden, my boss is the problem. My colleagues are the problem. My husband is the problem. My children are the problem. My mother is the problem. My friends are the problem. When essentially the real problem is the fact that I am not moving forward. But because we give our power away, we are so used to giving our power away because they're now growing up. There were authority figures and you didn't really have power because you had to listen to what someone else says, and then you get into the real world and then there's titles, and these titles you need to listen to what they say. So somehow we also think that we don't have to think to a certain point for ourselves. So we give our power away in so many instances and in so many of our interactions. If you are constantly giving your power away, why would you think that you have power within yourself to create the life that you want to create? Now you're in your job, you're miserable. Your boss is not giving you the promotion that you think you deserve. It's your boss's problem now. Is that really true? If you really consider it, is that really true? Is that the only way you can advance in life? Is by waiting for your boss to give you a promotion? Is that really, really, really true? And if that is not really, really true, is it really, really worth being so upset and miserable with your boss now because he's not giving you or she's not giving you a promotion that you want? My point being is we have more control over our lives than we realize. But how do we create the life that we live? How do we create this life that we are busy living right now? So, we as human beings have our subconscious mind and we have our conscious mind. The subconscious mind runs 90 to 95% of what we do every single day. And that subconscious mind runs on patterns, beliefs, programs, basically they are installed. By the age that we are 7, we basically have our subconscious mind programmed for us. Now imagine, what do you know between the time you are conceived till you are born on what to discern is not good for you and what to discern is, oh yes, that's good for me. You just soak up everything. And if your guardians were very unskilled in interacting with life, then you don't have the most, you're not the most equipped with, good skills to interact with this life. But you don't really know it. It's what you know. It's the life you've known. So you interact in that way and you're creating the results that you have been creating in your life, because the subconscious mind interacts with the laws that govern all the results that we are able to see. Yes, like gravity, there are multiple laws that govern the results that we are able to see, and how we interact with these laws essentially is what determines what results will come out of it. Did you know that? Very few of us know that. I didn't know that until I got into the study of the work that I do right now. And you are not taught this at school. You're taught a whole lot of other set of other things at school, but you're not taught on how do I interact with the laws of life, to create the results that we live and we deal with every single day. And newsflash, whether you believe it or not, whether you think it's true or not, you are going to interact with these laws and you are going to create the results that you're creating. But now, if your subconscious mind is already programmed by the age that you're 7, and it's running the show basically, does that mean that we are doomed as human beings? Does it mean that this is it? Whatever we know as life is it for us? No, that is not true. It's programmed by the age that we are 7, but we do have the ability to reprogram it. But you need to know how. So there are 2 ways that the subconscious mind is reprogrammed. Essentially, by some large event happening, emotional event in your life, crisis generally, or by repetition. And in the work that I do and what I engage in my life on a daily basis is repetition, because there is a more constructive, less dramatic way of creating results and waiting for some crisis or some huge life event that has a heavy emotion impact to happen to trigger you to want to change or to say, okay, something needs to give now. Okay, and if you're interested in knowing or learning about that or chatting about it, if you would like to chat about it and find out more about how exactly does this work, you can book a strategy call with me, book a chat with me, where I'll basically break down to you how exactly do we program and reprogram our subconscious mind, how does it run our lives, and what we can actually do about it so that we can create the results that we want to create. And I'm talking results in everything: your love and your relationships, your time and your money freedom, what you do for work, how you interact with the work that you do. Everything that you can think about in your life. Okay, so there are 4 main quadrants: your time and your money freedom, your love and your relationships, your vocation, and I'm missing the one: time and money, vocation, love and relationships, your work, your relationships, your time and money freedom. How am I missing one? There's another one I'm missing. It's just going right over my head now. 4 quadrants that we work on that essentially makes up the entire life that we live. Essentially, because our lives are made up of people we interact with, how loved we feel, the love we give, the love we experience, the work we do in our lives, whether we get paid for it or not, every single day, because we spend most of our times doing that. The time and money freedom we have. Are you always working? So now you've got the money, but you're always working. You don't have time to experience life the way you'd like to experience it, so you don't feel like you are free. Or you feel so broke that you're like, hey, I don't have money to be dealing with that. These are all patterns that we have from whatever has happened to us, or whatever experiences we've had in our lives. We made meaning out of it, put beliefs around it. We have beliefs that were passed down to us. There's a whole set of patterns that created the life, the beliefs that we have, and we operate from those beliefs. Those are patterns that now we have operating and we're running from. And sometimes the beliefs we have are not serving us. And if you want to know whether the beliefs you have and the patterns you have are serving you or not, look at your results, look at your life. It is a direct reflection of what is going on with us. Okay, so if you'd like to chat more about that and get a free strategy session, because we're not just chatting about how you can reprogram it, it is a strategy session that's going to be designed and tailor-made specifically for whatever you have going on in your life right now. No strings attached. It is free, highly valuable. Book a chat, book it. The link is at the bottom, and we can just chat. We can just chat about it. You can just find out more about it, and I can guide you through the strategy session. You will walk away having received so much value. But that is essentially what I wanted to speak about in terms of the 3 reasons you may believe you're not good enough or think someone else is better than you. No one is better than you. It's not possible. It's not possible. Someone might have more than you. Yeah. Someone might have more than you, but it doesn't make them better than you. Inherently, there's no one who's better than the other one. We are all equals in this world. But how do I interact with this world? How do I see myself, view myself in this world? And how do I go about creating the results that I'm creating in my life? So, book a chat with me. We can talk about that. And that is it from now. I will see you in the next live, which will be on Thursday. Okay? Bye, darlings.